Things got started today about 9 o'clock this morning. San Benito Police Department, we received information regarding a male subject who had made some threats, threatening statements. We received the information from a third party. That party felt obligated to notify the department to inform us of the information. At that point, we felt it necessary to obviously involve the school and notify the school of the nature of the statements as precautionary measures. That way we can make sure that we're safe all the way around. And at that time, that's when lockdown procedures were put in place. We summoned all available resources, coordinated with San Diego School District, as well as surrounding agencies and federal partners. The investigation led us to a location out in the 281 area, where we made contact with the members, family members of the person of interest. By this point, we had a person of interest that we were interested in investigating. So upon making contact with the family, we were able to, it led us to believe that the residence, he was not at the residence. A consensual search was conducted. He was not located at that time. During further investigation, it was determined that the suspect is located at a location in Pleasanton, Texas. We have confirmed that at this time that he is at that location. For right now, no criminal charges have been filed. Everything is still being compiled, of course, and put together, and see where it's going to lead us from there. But for right now, everything seemed to be under control. There was no injuries, no shots fired anywhere, and we're still in the process of investigating at this time.
I want to appreciate the partnership with the City of San Benito and making sure that we responded promptly. Student safety is first and foremost for everyone in this community, and it's important we understand the depth of these threats when we receive them. Schools, churches, police departments, they're no longer sacred. And so as a community, we're going to come together and keep our schools as safe as possible and work very tight with our city officials and authorities. So again, I'm extremely pleased with the response and the coordination, and also for our community here as a school community, that our faculty and our staff and our students followed protocol and did outstanding. And while things went well, there's always things to learn from these things, from these situations. So.
Anybody has any questions?
We'll start off from here from the left. Okay, have any questions?
As far as like the lead that you have to Pleasanton, or where the suspect might be at this time, are you all making any kind of leads to go get him or arrest him?
At this point, that's what we're following up on. That's being followed up right now to see what our next step is going to be to clear this up. It's still in the organization stages and the preparatory phases and stuff like that, we're compiling information.
Okay. And I have a question for Dr. Puig. You said that everyone followed protocol. What is the protocol for a Code Red?
Code Red means we shut down every facility in the district, and we follow protocol, immediately communicating with our director of communications and getting that message out immediately to the principals. At that point, after getting information from the City PD to our chief of police, we follow what I just described there and shut everything down.
I was speaking with some parents earlier, and their biggest concern was that after a while there was no phones being answered, whether it was at the high schools or from the district. And so how do you maintain that balance for those parents who are hearing they're safe, but they're not hearing any other details besides rumors?
Annalise, that's a great question. It's not about balance. It's about improving the way you message these situations. I think prior there may have been some guidelines in place that some of our administrators were following, and that's good. You follow policy. However, as I said at the top of this press conference is, what can we learn from this? And I think what we learn from it is we have to make sure that administrators that are right there where it's happening understand that in this situation, the secretaries there, those answering the phones, probably should have been able to answer the phone there and then respond, that we can de-escalate the parent anxiety at that point. So that was a learning for us.
And we did send an email out to principals informing them that if they could please advise their secretaries to answer the phone after Dr. Puig called that to my attention. So principals were notified to please respond.
What about those rumors? There were rumors about shots being fired that were, I guess, all over Facebook and social media. How do you combat that when, parents are asking, were there shots, and all they're hearing in reply is we have everything under
That's another
control?
great point. I think we take the Mark Twain approach. It's real simple. Let's get the facts before you distort them.
About the man or young man, do we know anything else about him? He was a one-time resident of San Benito, was he not?
Well, the person of interest that we're investigating, he is from the San Benito area.
But he now is living in Pleasanton, you said?
He's an adult male.
Okay.
And he is working right now in Pleasanton.
Okay.
Okay. That's what we have right now, and we're still compiling more information.
Okay.
Just real quick for the Spanish-speaking media, we'll address y'all in a bit. Okay, Mr. Fox, you have anything?
Yeah. What's the information or what you want to tell the parents here? There was a school that were kind of rowdy. What do you ask to those parents that are acting up, making the situation a little bit worse than anything?
It's a great question. It goes back to educating the parents. They have to, and also building trust with the parents. And again, educating, building trust. They have to understand that when we have these incidences, there is a protocol, not only for the faculty and the staff and the students, there's a protocol for the parents. And we have to build that trust to understand they put themselves in more danger if they're coming up to school, actually, to try to pick up their kids. So over time, we're going to have to reach out and develop those channels of communication so they can trust that they're doing the right thing. And to be quite honest, the community, that's going to take a little time.
Four was over there,
Okay.
sorry. As far as the threat that was made in the morning, can you give us more specifics as to what was said or anything at all, this phone call, or how many times they called or anything like that?
Well, it did start with one phone call to our department. As far as the contents of what kind of threats, that's what we're trying to investigate right now. And then we'd like to compile more information, investigate a little bit further before we send it.
So the threat was made to the entire district or the city, or?
It was mainly towards law enforcement. Okay, it was mainly towards law enforcement. And as a precautionary measure, of course, we have to make sure that the schools know about potential danger. That's how things got started on that end.
And after that one phone call, there haven't been made any more phone calls from that individual, or they didn't try again or anything like that, did they?
Well, we were staying in contact with the source after that, back and forth over the phone. So getting more information and further updates.
Okay, so he was contacted more than once, so there was that conversation going on with them.
Correct.
Okay.
One more.
A source revealed to us that this person of interest might be a former employee of a certain school in San Benito. Can you speak to any of that right now? Is that true? Or?
No, I don't have that information.
Just one last question. So I understand that Dr. Puig was saying that, where there's lessons to be learned. If something like this is to happen again, do you foresee a better way to calm parents?
Yes, we are going to be meeting with Dr. Puig to try and evaluate an incident that took place today, and so we'll be taking a look at that. But we're always trying to reach out to parents. We have the avenues that we have in place to communicate with